Hey guys, Major Frenchie, welcome. Today we're looking at episode number 3, and we're going to make our buttons flash. What do I mean by this? So, for example, when you launch the table, you have the coin button flashing, so you need to enter coins. Once you hit that, then the start button flashes, so it's ready to start. Then after you've started that, the launch button flash. So we're going to look at this logic. Then also we're going to look at the in lane, the out lane in the table, apply some effects, also some events, the multi-ball, and the drain. We're going to create a subroutine that we can reapply for anything else in the table. I'm going to show you how to do this. And we're going to use these 4 code right here for start, for launch, and then coin button flashing, and then coin button just remaining on. So let's just start with the coin flashing. So we're going to use this, we're going to copy this. We're going to paste that in the user-defined script events. So before you apply something, just kind of think about the workflow. Think about how it works when you just play a table, right? So the table loads, right? And then you've got the button flashing. So that's the first thing. So you want this button to flash automatically. So we're going to actually paste it here. So this is basically as soon as the DOFLinx codes gets turned on. So you see the 9999 here for the code. So this is the time. It's in milliseconds. So that's just like under 2 minutes. You can put whatever you want. So for example, if you would just want the coin button to flash, let's say 5 seconds, you would put 500. And we're going to look for coin. See, it says case coin in, play sound coin in. So when it plays the sound coin in, what we're going to do is we're going to change this right here. So we're going to put 0. We're going to put 0. And we're going to remove the FL because it's not going to flash anymore. It's just going to be on. Okay. And here we're going to remove the flashing. And we're just going to say on. The next logic for this will be, okay, the button for the coin stops flashing. Now the start button is going to start flashing. So we're going to copy the start button flashing, and then I'm going to paste it here. The next step is you're going to press that start button, okay? And that start button is going to remain lit. The launch button is going to start flashing. When you press the start button, this is going to release the ball. So we're looking at basically the plunger kicker. We've already have the slingshot when the new ball is created. Now this is the start button. Well, the start button is now going to be 0, 0, and it's not going to flash. It's just going to be on. Or you can just turn it off. If you just want it off, you can leave FL like this, and it will be completely off, okay? But we're going to leave it on like this. The start button is off, but we want also the launch button to start flashing. So we're going to copy the code for the launch button right here, and we're going to paste that here. All right. Next, that launch button has to stop flashing when you're going to release the plunger and the ball flies out. I guess a new term that I'm going to introduce here. 2 things you want to look for depending on how the table is coded. Plunger release, it would be a good search term, or let go, just LETGO, and find next. So here is the one that we're looking for. So I'm going to add a space here. Okay, I'm going to paste the code for the launch button. I'm going to set that to 0 and 0. And flashing off. And that should work, folks. So I'm going to save my table. All right, so let's see if our button sequence is going to work. So we should have coin button start flashing as soon as DOFLinx kicks in. There you go. So now we have the coin. So I'm going to press that. It should just remain lit. There you go. And my start button triggers. And when I press this, the lunch button should actually light up. There you go. And that remains lit as well. And then I'm going to press this. That's going to launch the ball. And it should stop flashing as soon as I release. There you go. So everything works as intended. And let's see if it starts flashing again. There you go. New ball. I mentioned about the inner outer lanes. So basically that's when the ball goes here. So we got the outer lane, the inner lane right here. And you may have to zoom in. Sometimes it's you have to be really, really close to be able to select it. And I'm going to select the this right here. There you go. Right in lane trigger. So we're going to copy that code. We're going to go in the script and we're going to look for it. Right in lane trigger hit. We're going to hit enter, leave a space, and then now we got to figure out, okay, what kind of effect do we want for this? So I have an idea. So I'm just going to go back to my cheat sheet. Okay, I'm going to copy this here and I'm going to paste it, but I'm going to change the colors right here. So I want basically green, white, 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 and green. So that's going to be my effect. And then here is the left. So we're actually going to use this, but we're going to reverse the colors. So I'm going to go here, left, Control V, and I'm going to use basically white, white, and the three middle one are going to be green. There you go. So we've got the inner, the outer, and we got the right outer lane right here. Let's apply some orange there as well. We got the right out lane escape. We're going to have some blue. So a lot of these different triggers here, you're going to have to look in the table and try to find the elements. There you go. That's the one right here. Trigger *1. We're going to apply the strobe. We've got a strobe effect. So this is how you apply the effects to inner lane, outer lane, or different triggers. And then as I showed you, as you're looking in the script, you're going to stumble upon some triggers that you have no idea what it is. And sometimes a lot of it, you can apply an effect. The trigger escape, which we didn't find. A good actually effect to apply to an unknown event is the knocker. When I play the table and I hear the knocker, boom, I said, oh, okay, it's that event. When we click actually adding a coin, look at what's happening to the table. See how all lights are flashing? There's kind of green and red, green and yellow. And then look at the middle of the table. We have a blue and a red. And all lights are kind of flashing. You'll see the effect is very similar to the when we insert a coin. See? Now, multi-balls trigger. Look at that. The table is going nuts now. So what I'm thinking is we're going to apply strobe, beacon, and maybe some effect with the light bar for 10 seconds. So we're going to apply that through the multi-ball. So that's the plan. All right, now that we know what effects that we want, let's just have a look here. We're gonna actually look for the multi-ball, folks. So that's what we're gonna focus on. There you go. So that's what we're looking for. So this is actually a skill shot. If you hit the target right away while you're doing the skill shot, it's going to trigger the multi-ball. We're going to copy the code for the beacon. Every time we're going to have the multi-ball, we're going to have the beacon on for 10 seconds. We're going to paste the code right here. I'm going to add 10 seconds. And let's keep looking for multi-ball events. Start multi-ball right here. So we're going to paste our code right here. Let's keep looking. A multi-ball start 1. We got a multi-ball start 2. And we have a multi-ball start 3, I believe. Yep, just below right here. So we're going to add this as well.
Okay, so what I want to show you is the inner lane that we've just coded. So the inner lane is going to be here. And I'm just going to show you. See? There you go. And I kind of changed some of the color. And then I'm going to show you the other lane right here. The multi-ball. I'm going to roll the ball in here. Okay, we get the new ball. And I'm going to trigger the multi-ball right here. There you go. So now we got the beacon that just started. And we have our multi-ball. So we know that works.
So perfect. Beacon is working well. But we're not going to keep the beacon as it is because we're going to replace it with a subroutine. What is a subroutine? Well, to put it real easy, is a group of effects. It can be like sequence of effects, like it can be, let's say, triggering the flash bar, then after triggering the solenoid, triggering the beacon, and basically you group all of that into a subroutine. There's a title, and once you set it once, every time you wish to trigger that, you do not have to copy the whole code. You actually can just use the title next to your trigger and boom, it'll trigger the subroutine. I have examples in the cheat sheet. If you look below towards the bottom, see there's T-Rex, Sabertooth, Juggernaut, Spinner, and I got a bunch of them that I've created. These ones were for the Deadpool table. Go ahead and download different tables, guys, and look at the code. I've learned a lot from Terry's tables. We're going to create a multi-ball subroutine. And it's going to be a very simple one. We're going to use the Mystic code. So we're going to copy all this, and then we're going to paste that in the code. We're going to have to change the name because, of course, unless we call it Mystic, but we want to kind of be relevant, so we're going to change the name. And let's go way at the bottom. So subroutine, and then we're going to paste that code right here. So we're going to come up with a name, and then the name, we're going to call it MB for multi-ball, okay? Just make sure you change all of them, because otherwise you will have error. So case 1 that's what's going to be the first effect. So we're going to use the shaker for 500 milliseconds. Let's leave the blue on there. So that's going to be the flash bar. Well, of course, the beacon. So that's our main toy for the multi-ball. Paste that. We're going to set that for 10 seconds. The fan here, we don't want the fan for this. So I'm going to delete it. In case 2, I'm going to put the strobe. All right. So we're going to take this code, we're going to cut it. All right. And we're going to look for CFB here because that's where we need to paste the code. MCFB. Next. There you go, right here in the DOFLinx variables. Okay, so we're going to paste our code right here. Okay, but again, remember, if you copy and paste, you will have errors if you do not change the name. So MB for multiball. Copy DOFLinx underscore MB. We need to create a timer for this, okay? Remember how we created a timer? We went to the translate. We're going to click on special timer, and then we're going to create the timer right here. And we're going to name it DOFLinx underscore MB. Let's go back to the bottom of the script where we have our subroutine. And here's the code that we need to use in order to trigger that subroutine, okay? Now, I'm going to, now remember, it's not called Mystic, it's called MB for multiball. MB for multiball. And you might want to change this here. We're going to call it DOFLinx multiball subroutine. Okay, so we're going to select this, cut it, because we don't need it here. And then we're going to find now all the places where we added the beacon, remember? We're going to add this subroutine. Okay, so we got this one change. We've got the sub multiball start one. So we're going to replace this. We have the sub multiball 2. We're going to add the code. And we have the sub multiball 3. And we will add the code. All right, I think we're done. So let's just save the table. I'm going to save it as 1.7. Now the drain. Now let's look at the drain. I did a search and I found the subroutine drain hit, which is going to be the trigger right here. There we go, drain. So we're going to apply red flash bar, flashing. And actually, I'm going to add 2 of those. And we're going to add the shaker motor. By the way, you cannot set the intensity of the shaker motor in future pinball, so you will have to change the force or the intensity of the shaker motor in the DOFLinx.ini file. By default, it's set to 255, which is 100%. I got mine at 100, so I'm going to, there we go, add the shaker motor, and I'm going to actually add that twice. It's kind of too little hit, too little vibration, so I kind of like that. Okay, so every time we have the ball draining, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to add more effects to this once we get into the addressable LED, but for now, that's all we're going to do.
So let's just test the subroutine for the multi-ball, okay? Okay, we lock the ball, and let's just trigger now the multi-ball in here. Okay, let's see. Look at this. We got it. The table is shaking as well. Good job.
So folks, that's how we apply a subroutine to a table. Now there's a lot of different things, okay? So like I said, download different tables, download Terry's table. Terry's tables are very complex. You can learn a lot from that code. So dissect the code, try it in your own, and really that's how you're going to learn, by trying all those different things. So thank you for watching this episode. Next episode, guess what, folks? We're jumping into the addressable LED, the fun stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.